Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we embark on a fascinating journey into the lives of history's most captivating figures, seeking to unravel the intricacies of human character and the timeless lessons that their stories impart. Today, we turn our attention to Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a man whose extraordinary life has become an integral part of American lore. Born on February 12, 1809, in a humble log cabin nestled in the rolling hills of Kentucky, Lincoln's early years were marked by hardship, perseverance, and an insatiable thirst for knowledge that would stay with him throughout his life. As we step into the world of young Abraham, we find ourselves in the early 19th century, a time when the United States was still grappling with its identity and the institution of slavery was deeply entrenched, casting a long shadow over the nation. The Lincolns, a family of modest means, lived on the frontier, where the boundaries between wilderness and civilization were constantly shifting, like the mighty rivers that flowed through the land. Thomas Lincoln, Abraham's father, was a rugged farmer and skilled carpenter whose struggles to provide for his family would later influence his son's strong work ethic and empathy for the common man. The smell of freshly cut wood, the sound of hammering on the anvil, and the feel of rough-hewn furniture were all familiar to Abraham as he watched his father work tirelessly to build a better life for their family. Abraham's mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, played a pivotal role in shaping his early years, instilling in him a love for learning that would stay with him forever. Though she had limited formal education, she possessed a deep passion for reading and a keen intellect, which she nurtured through her love of books and storytelling. The family's Bible, with its worn leather cover and yellowed pages, and Aesop's fables, with its timeless tales of morality and wisdom, were among the few books they owned. And these texts not only fostered Abraham's imagination, but also introduced him to the power of storytelling and the importance of moral lessons. As he sat by the fire, listening to his mother read from these cherished volumes, Abraham's mind was open to a world of wonder and possibility. The Lincoln family's relocation to Indiana in 1816, when Abraham was just 7 years old, marked a significant turning point in his life, like a fork in the road that would forever alter his journey. The move was prompted by Thomas Lincoln's desire for better land and economic opportunities, but it also meant that the young family had to confront the harsh realities of frontier life, where the air was thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves, and the sounds of wolves and wild animals echoed through the night. The untimely death of Nancy Hanks Lincoln in 1818, likely due to milk sickness, a disease that swept through the region like a plague, left an indelible mark on Abraham, a wound that would take years to heal. His father's subsequent marriage to Sarah Bush Johnston, a widow with 3 children of her own, introduced Abraham to a new family dynamic, one that was both complicated and loving, like a rich tapestry woven from diverse threads. As Abraham navigated his adolescence, he found himself drawn to the world of books and ideas like a moth to flame. Despite having less than a year of formal education, he devoured any material he could find, from newspapers to literary classics, often reading by the light of the fire or by the faint glow of a candle. His natural curiosity and affinity for self-study led him to explore various subjects, including mathematics, literature, and law, as he sought to make sense of the world around him and his place in it. The influence of the Second Great Awakening, a religious revival that swept through the United States during the early 19th century, also had an impact on Abraham's spiritual development, shaping his views on morality, compassion, and social justice. Like a river flowing through the landscape of his soul. As he grew older, Abraham began to feel the weight of responsibility, like a mantle placed upon his shoulders. He took on more duties on the family farm, helping his father with the crops and livestock, and learning the value of hard work and perseverance. He also started to explore the world beyond his community, attending local events and gatherings, where he met people from different walks of life and heard their stories. These experiences broadened his perspective, like a horizon expanding before him, and helped shape his views on the world and its many complexities. In these formative years, we see the emergence of traits that would define Lincoln's character: his strong sense of purpose, his commitment to self-education, and his unwavering empathy for those struggling to make a better life for themselves. We witness the development of a young man who was both introspective and outgoing, with a quick wit and a sharp mind, like a fine blade honed by experience and reflection. The young Abraham's journey, marked by both hardship and hope, sets the stage for a life that would be characterized by remarkable resilience, unshakable principles, and an enduring impact on American history. The years ahead would bring their own set of challenges and opportunities, like a path winding through the mountains with its twists and turns. Abraham would face setbacks and failures, but he would also experience triumphs and successes, each one shaping him into the person he was meant to be. Through it all, he would remain true to himself, guided by his strong sense of purpose and his unwavering commitment to justice and equality. As Abraham Lincoln entered his early 20s, he began to make a name for himself in the community, taking on various roles that would shape his future and lay the foundation for his eventual rise to prominence. In 1831, he worked as a store clerk in New Salem, Illinois, where he quickly became known for his honesty and strong work ethic. The general store, with its rustic wooden counter and shelves stocked with everything from flour to firearms, was the hub of community activity, and Lincoln's warm smile and easy manner made him a favorite among the locals. It was during this time that he started to develop his skills as a storyteller and debater, often engaging in lively discussions with the locals at the general store. The air would be thick with smoke from pipes and the smell of freshly ground coffee as Lincoln regaled his audience with tales of adventure and humor, his natural charisma and ability to connect with people from all walks of life serving him well in his future endeavors. His love of learning and passion for reading were evident in his conversations, which often ranged from literature to politics, and his willingness to listen to others' perspectives earned him a reputation as a thoughtful and empathetic young man. In 1834, Lincoln ran for the Illinois state legislature, winning the election and beginning his career in politics. He would go on to serve several terms in the state legislature, during which time he became a strong advocate for infrastructure development, education, and economic growth. His commitment to public service and his willingness to listen to the concerns of his constituents earned him a reputation as a dedicated and effective leader. Lincoln's experiences in the state legislature also gave him a deeper understanding of the complexities of politics and the importance of building relationships with colleagues from different backgrounds and ideologies. One of the most significant events of Lincoln's early career was his move to Springfield, Illinois in 1837, where he established himself as a successful lawyer. He partnered with William Herndon, and together they built a thriving practice, taking on cases that ranged from civil disputes to criminal trials. The law office, located above a bustling dry goods store, was a hub of activity, with clients coming and going throughout the day, seeking advice on everything from property disputes to family feuds. Lincoln's exceptional skills as a lawyer, combined with his strong sense of justice, made him a respected figure in the community. As he navigated the complexities of the law, Lincoln also began to develop his skills as a writer and orator. He would often spend hours crafting arguments and speeches, poring over books on rhetoric, and practicing his delivery in front of the mirror. His love of language and passion for persuasion served him well in the courtroom, where he was known for his ability to weave complex ideas into compelling narratives that captivated judges and juries alike. Lincoln's entry into national politics came in 1846, when he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. During his time in Congress, he spoke out against the Mexican-American War, arguing that it was unjust and unconstitutional. His strong stance on this issue, although unpopular with some of his constituents, demonstrated his commitment to principle and his willingness to take a stand, even in the face of opposition. The experience also gave him a deeper understanding of the complexities of national politics and the importance of building coalitions and negotiating with colleagues from different regions and ideologies. In 1858, Lincoln ran for the U.S. Senate against Stephen Douglas, a prominent Democrat and former governor of Illinois. Although Lincoln lost that election, his series of debates with Douglas brought him national attention and established him as a major figure in the Republican Party. The debates, which took place across Illinois, showcased Lincoln's exceptional oratory skills and his ability to articulate complex ideas in clear and concise language. The debates also highlighted the deepening divisions within the country, as the issue of slavery and states' rights began to dominate the national conversation. As the years passed, Lincoln's reputation as a strong leader and a passionate advocate for justice continued to grow. In 1860, he was elected as the 16th President of the United States, with a platform that opposed the expansion of slavery and promoted economic development. His inaugural address, delivered on March 4, 1861, set the tone for his presidency, as he called for unity and cooperation in the face of the looming Civil War. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory, stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone, all over this broad land, will yet swell the chorus of the Union when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature. The words were a testament to Lincoln's deep empathy and his commitment to preserving the Union, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. As Lincoln navigated the treacherous waters of the Civil War, he would face countless challenges and make difficult decisions that would shape the course of American history. His commitment to preserving the Union and ending the injustice of slavery would ultimately lead to his greatest triumphs, but also to great personal tragedy. The weight of responsibility, the burden of leadership, and the crushing loss of life would all take their toll on Lincoln, testing his resolve and pushing him to the limits of human endurance. As the Civil War raged on, Lincoln's leadership and resolve were tested like never before, as the weight of a nation's fate rested squarely on his shoulders. The din of gunfire and cannons echoed through the streets, the scent of smoke and sweat hanging heavy in the air, while the cries of the wounded and the dying pierced the night. He faced intense criticism from both sides of the conflict, with some accusing him of being too soft on the Confederacy, their words dripping with venom and malice, while others saw him as a tyrant who was trampling on states' rights, their voices rising in indignation. Despite these challenges, Lincoln remained steadfast in his commitment to preserving the Union and ending the injustice of slavery, his eyes fixed firmly on the horizon of a brighter future. His days were filled with the burdens of war as he pored over battle plans and dispatches, his mind racing with strategies and counter-strategies. Yet, even amidst the chaos and destruction, Lincoln's eloquence and empathy shone through in his speeches and writings, inspiring countless Americans to rally behind the cause. His words, like a beacon of hope, illuminated the darkness, offering solace to the afflicted and guidance to the uncertain. In the midst of war, he found time to write letters to grieving families, offering condolences and comfort, his handwriting scribbling across the page with a warmth and compassion that belied the turmoil raging around him. One of the most significant events of Lincoln's later years was the issuance of the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863. This landmark document, penned in his own hand, declared that all slaves in states still in rebellion against the Union were free, paving the way for the eventual abolition of slavery with the passage of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. The proclamation was a masterstroke of politics and morality, as it shifted the focus of the war from preserving the Union to also fighting for human freedom. It was a calculated risk, one that would alienate some Northern Democrats and border state Unionists, but Lincoln knew that it was essential to the ultimate goal of defeating the Confederacy and ending the scourge of slavery. As he signed the proclamation, his pen scratched across the parchment with a sense of purpose and conviction. Lincoln felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that this moment marked a turning point in the war. The room fell silent, as if the weight of history hung suspended, awaiting the outcome of this bold move. His advisors and cabinet members looked on, some with tears in their eyes, others with faces set in determination as they grasped the significance of what was unfolding before them. As the war drew to a close, Lincoln's thoughts turned to rebuilding and reconciliation. His eyes scanned the crowd, taking in the faces of those who had gathered to hear him, their eyes filled with hope and expectation. The sun was setting over Washington, D.C., casting a golden glow over the city, as if nature itself was acknowledging the significance of this moment. The air was alive with anticipation, as Lincoln's words seemed to wash over the crowd like a balm, soothing the wounds of war and division. It was a moment of profound introspection, one that would be etched in the memories of those who witnessed it for generations to come. Tragically, Lincoln's life was cut short by an assassin's bullet. On April 14, 1865, while attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., He was shot by John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer consumed by hatred and a desire for revenge. The sound of the gunshot echoed through the theater, like a crack of thunder on a summer evening, as Lincoln slumped forward, his life slipping away with each passing moment. The actors froze on stage, their faces frozen in horror as the audience erupted into chaos and panic. The news of Lincoln's assassination sent shockwaves across the nation, like ripples spreading from a stone cast into a still pond. People wept openly in the streets, their grief and anguish pouring out like a torrent as they struggled to come to terms with the loss of their beloved leader. His death was a devastating blow to a country that had come to rely on his leadership and guidance, leaving a void that could never be filled. In the years and decades that followed, Lincoln's legacy only grew as Americans came to realize the full extent of his impact on their nation. He is remembered today as one of America's greatest presidents, a champion of freedom and equality who gave his life in service to his country. His commitment to preserving the Union and ending slavery has inspired generations of Americans to work towards a more perfect Union, their efforts building upon the foundation laid by Lincoln. As historian Doris Kearns Goodwin once observed, Lincoln's capacity for empathy, his ability to understand the perspectives of others, was perhaps his greatest gift as a leader. This gift allowed him to connect with people from all walks of life, to listen to their stories and understand their struggles. It was a quality that earned him the respect and admiration of even his most ardent critics, who came to see in him a man of unwavering principle and unshakable conviction. His story teaches us that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a better future, and that the courage to stand up for what is right can inspire others to do the same. Lincoln's life serves as a testament to the enduring power of compassion, empathy, and wisdom, qualities that continue to guide us today as we navigate the complexities of our own time. In the end, it was not the grand gestures or sweeping pronouncements that defined Lincoln's presidency, but the small, quiet moments of humanity, the whispered words of comfort to a grieving widow, the gentle touch on the shoulder of a weary soldier. These are the moments that reveal the true character of a man and remind us that even in the most trying times, there is always room for kindness, compassion, and love. That's all for today's biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.